Welcome, everybody. My name is Steve Drost. With me, as always, we've got Will Kaplan, both, of course, from the Quivr CRM team. What is our mission at Quivr? Help you run your business at peak efficiency. Will, you've known me for long enough that when I see a button, I want to push it.
And Steve, this is a button that you're not alone in wanting to push. We get this one all the time.
Yeah, it's record type. I'm very happy that we built Quivr on top of Salesforce for a number of reasons. Security is huge, integrations are huge, API, the ability to do stuff with it, the reporting function. There's a lot of great stuff inside of Salesforce, and I'm happy we built on top of them. There's also some things, though, that might not be in layman's terms. Is that fair?
I mean, one of the things that I always tell people is like, Salesforce is hard. It's going to make you work in order to get good at it. And I think record types is a prime example of that. I mean, there are some places where record types are indispensable and absolutely appropriate and wonderful. And there are some other places where it's like, I don't know if I'd touch that button. That one might get you in a little bit of trouble. And record types is one of those. Like it's a great topic for a little bit of a deeper dive that we can give today, because there's some places where you should absolutely pick it up and adopt it and start using it. And there's some places where, like, I don't know if that's a good idea.
And now most of the work that we've done at Quivr, because you're right, Salesforce can be as complex as you want it to be. And most of the work that we've done has been to harness the horsepower of Salesforce, but display it in a more user-friendly experience, right? Our workflow engine, you don't need to know how Salesforce works. But spoiler alert, our workflow engine is actually built on Flows, which is the native Salesforce automation tool. So all we did was take Salesforce's incredibly powerful tool, put it into a more user-friendly fashion so that anybody can use it. But when we look at record type, it's one of the items that there's a few things you just need to know about Salesforce. You need to know what an object is. You need to know what a record type is. And this isn't complex. There's not dozens of terms you need to know. You need to know 5, right? I'm sure there's a couple. Field. You need to know what a field is. And record type, in short, is simply a type of a record, right? Now, I know you're not supposed to use a word to describe a word, but that's all it is. So what type of information is something? So if we look at households, for example, we have a bunch of types of records. We have clients, we have prospects, we have COIs, X prospects, X clients, the firm record, right? So these are all types of households. And in Quivr, what is the household? It's basically just the big old bag that we're going to throw all the marbles in, right? It's the big filing cabinet that we're going to put the manila folders into. But we need to know, why can we change a record type? What does this do? And Will, why do we have different record types for the household?
And Steve, you're reading my mind today, because like, I think it's really common, and it's a people reach for this first as, I'm going to use it to filter different types of records. And I think that's where people start to get themselves into trouble, because it's not really designed to be a filter. It's more I love a good metaphor, and the one I typically use for record types is, it's like ice cream. Ice cream is the object, and the flavors of that ice cream are the different record types. I'm not going to filter by like chocolate and vanilla. They're kind of different things. And as it pertains to Salesforce, really what you're controlling is, what are the fields and the pages that I want to associate with this version of this thing. So like, as a X client, because now we're looking at the household record type here on the screen for those people that are getting this content in a different format, you might want to display that page a little differently. You might want to put different fields on that page, or remove some fields on that page that are no longer as important as they once were. And that's really where record types shine. It's not a filtering thing necessarily. It's more fundamental than that.
Yeah, and honestly, the biggest one gotta give it a category. The biggest difference between the page views, now you'll notice a few differentiations between prospect and onboarding household and things like that. But the biggest one is your COIs. If you have an accountant, do you really care about the day that accountant turns 59 and a half? No, I don't care when my CPA is going to go into Medicare unless they're a client. So with COIs, we show you different information. With COIs, the thing I care about the most is, which one of my clients is this person working with, and what documents or document did they draft? So if they're a CPA, I want to see, now it's not going to show any data here, but I want to see every tax return that this CPA and this accounting firm was responsible for. Now, why do I want to see that? Well, come May 1st, when I'm requesting tax returns from clients, I want my mom, who serves as my admin, to be able to go into the system and know exactly who she needs to reach out to receive that tax return. So she's going to email the correct list to the correct accountant to request the correct tax returns. She's not going to, there's no questions there. So you want to be able to display things and do things differently.
And Steve, like, to really get a good sense of how this works and why this works, I don't know that there's a better example in Quivr than projects. It's such, like, that's really where these different record types shine, because while you've got one object, which is the project, that record type really unlocks all the functionality there. And I know we were going to talk about that a little bit too, but it seems like it lines up exactly into this conversation where you've really got this ability to say, like, okay, I'm doing like, this is still that project thing. I'm still, in the ice cream shop, but I'm dealing with something very, very different. A mortgage is not the same as an estate plan. An estate plan is not the same as tax prep. Like, it really gives you that functionality of, like, I need a totally different set of fields. I need the page to lay out completely differently. It's not a filtering thing necessarily. You can, like, there's a little bit of functionality there too, but it's more fundamental than that.
Sure. Yeah. With households, honestly, our hope is you'll have custom fields, but hopefully we've covered most of what you want. I can only think of a couple of firms that have tons of custom fields on various household record types. But yeah, projects is something where my process to help a client get an estate plan is probably quite a bit different than a firm that only works with ultra high net worth. So therefore, my estate plan project is probably useless for that ultra high net worth firm. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think that may be. And additionally, and I've shown people this in demos, and we talk about this all the time. Like, when you're dealing with an estate plan, I don't want to see all the mortgage fields. I don't want to see all the insurance related fields. I don't need them. It doesn't pertain to this. I want just the data that I need, focus on the things that are important, organize it well, get rid of all of the clutter. That's where these, changing that record type or creating a new record type really lets you take full advantage of the system.
And the ability to create new record types specifically on projects is an area where we believe it's a low lift customization that can provide a very high rate of return on your time. So we teach you how to create projects. We teach you how to edit the projects. But if we look at this list right now, tax prep project, estate, group benefits, insurance, I don't see student loan analysis on here. We have multiple firms who work with late stage residents, early career physicians who have hundreds of thousands of dollars of student loans, and navigating them through the PSLF and probably the safe plan stuff right now, given the big, beautiful bill stuff. But that's probably the biggest thing that they do in their firm. We don't have a project for that. So that company, and we teach you how to do this. They probably built their student loan project, and I'm not exaggerating here, in an hour, in a morning, max in a day, because
Yeah,
they simply whiteboard what they need. And then they go into the community and we teach them we teach them how to build fields. We teach them how to drag and drop those fields onto the page layout where they want them. And then that end user now has a a manila envelope inside of that filing cabinet that matches exactly what they need.
And I think that's what's great about it is, you mentioned PSLF. That's one of those high risk, high reward type situations where, like, if you're off, like, if you miss stuff, you got a real problem. And so being able to identify those fields, get them into Quivr, run reporting on them, run automations on them because of Archer, like, great, we've got a ton of functionality. But again, if I'm dealing with a mortgage, I don't need 10 PSLF related fields cluttering up that page. Like, I want to get rid of them. I want to use them on the mortgage project, not on, the student loan project. And so that's really where these record types start to shine.
Yeah. This is probably one of the more, I use the word developer I use that word. It's just where you start to, a financial planner, director of operations, something like that. They might not necessarily feel in their comfort zone when we start talking about creating record types. I do want to stress, though, through the community with our instructions, and then also with office hours, these are conversations that we will happily have with existing users. Come on to office hours and just say, Steve, Will, here's the deal. Your projects are good, but I don't need these 4. I don't care about mortgages. I don't care about group benefits, but I need something to help me track the PSLF stuff. Okay, cool. What's your process look like? And then they might be surprised by our answer. And the result typically is we tell them to go back to work and get a sheet of paper or a whiteboard and document exactly what you want that to look like. When you have your rough draft, take a picture of it, send it to us, come to office hours the next week, and we will help you start to build that. Or if you're just, maybe you find the videos that you need, doesn't matter, but we'll walk you through that process, because once you know what you want, it's not a big lift. But the coolest part about this is we're not just building it for you behind closed doors, because we are firm believers that we need to teach you to fish, right? We need to teach you how to build these, teach you how to maintain these. And I promise you that if you have the ability to read and the ability to follow instructions, you are qualified to do this.
Yeah, we can. I mean, I think that's one of the kind of philosophical underpinnings of Quiver in general, is that we're trying to pull you up onto this plateau where you can be an effective Salesforce user and really get the full benefit and the full power out of Salesforce. And it's hard. Like, I mean, I remember when I had to climb up this mountain, I'm sure you had the same thing. Like, it takes a while to figure it out. And I think we're helping to make it easier for the people behind us to unlock the potential that is there inside of Salesforce and inside of Quiver to help you run your business and to, be a better advisor.
I mean, we have a rule at Quivr, right? I think everybody knows my older brother is a lead developer, and I think everybody knows that my mother is my admin on my planning firm. And the rule is, Will, everything we push in Quivr must be able to be owned by mom. Now, my mom is a very intelligent person, very smart, all that stuff, but her primary job for 30 years, not 30 years, probably 25 years, was she was a stay-at-home parent. Her first real desk job was working with me. So if she can follow instructions in Quivr, ask questions. Now, she doesn't come to office hours because she just asks me questions, but most of the questions she asks me would be appropriate office hours questions. But if she can build projects, I don't see why any of our users can't do this. We have really done our best to dummy down the process, focus on the few things that are the most important, push away the stuff that doesn't matter, and just focus on your desired outcome.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, is that it's complex. It's not hard. If that's like makes sense as you think about it, is that like we can guide you through that process. You can do it a couple times. You can get comfortable with it. And then you've got this really powerful tool in your back pocket where you can just kind of run with it once you've got, once you're that comfort zone. And again, there's some complexity there, some boxes to check and some things to fill out. And like, you have to understand kind of what you're looking at. We guide you through that, but it's not hard. It's very doable. It just takes some patience.
Yeah. And to be honest, I also tell people, if you spend 5 to 10 minutes on something and you don't know what you're doing, stop. Come to office hours.
Just come talk to us.
We'll help you. We'll help you. We're the weird ones. We know it because I actually enjoy it. Like, I enjoy this stuff. So I thought it was pretty cool. But good. That's a wrap. More good stuff as always. Remember, if you're a Quivr user and you want to mess around with record types, expand your projects, things like that, get to office hours. Ask us these questions. We are happy to teach you or show you or do it for you, right? It doesn't matter. We'll get you to where you need to go. We genuinely enjoy this stuff. So get to office hours where we can help you with this. And remember too, like, you're not the only one out there. So if you're having issues in our community and you need help, then that probably means we need to make our community better. So give us that feedback. We're happy to take it. Tell us how we can make it in even better. If you're not a Quivr user today, that's okay. Remember, nobody's perfect, but also remember, go schedule a demo, come hang out with me, come hang out with Will, and honestly, just come see Quivr live and learn what it can do for you and for your practice.